today we're picking up the conversation on the primary duties of supervision. They are effective planning. So part of your responsibility is make sure that you plan out. And we have already established in this and other classes that effective planning leads to effective management and efficient management, right? Proper instruction is another duty of supervision. And when I look and when I discuss this primary duties of supervision, not only do I see them as primary duties, but I also see them as tools that are going to make you work as supervisor a lot easier. Does that make any sense? So it's not only are you covering that duty part that you have when you are supervising, but you're also making the supervision itself smoother and easier by covering these aspects, right? So proper instructions, again, making sure that people know what behavior is expected of them or from them during the activity, right? Warning of risks, same thing. And as we're gonna see in a minute, the more dangerous the activity is, the more repetitive is and more straightforward these warnings should be, right? Next, we have providing a safe environment. We've already discussed that, it is the organizer's responsibility to make sure that the field is up to par with whatever the activity is, that the equipment is adequate in that type of deal. Providing a safe environment, right? Evaluating the physical and mental condition of the participants will be the number 5 right there. Again, that one is evaluating physical and mental condition of the participants. Yes, evaluating the physical and mental condition of the participants. Evaluating the physical and mental condition of the participants. And on this one, especially on the physical side, we're talking about sport, we're talking about physical activity. There are certain abilities that the participants need to be able to perform, or certain things that they physically have to be able to do in order to participate, right? And sometimes it's the coach that, or the supervisor, whatever title he or she's got, who kind of makes that determination that that person is physically, clear to do that. You also have some physical abilities clearance coming from physicians in some instances, right? And in some settings. I know that for college sports or more organized sports, that is needed for the participants to have their medical checkups and clearance before they're actually able to participate. And then the 6th one is providing emergency care. Providing emergency care. So those are the 6 duties of supervision. Again, they'll make your job a lot easier. If you kind of
What was the 5th one?
The 5th one was evaluating physical and mental condition of the participants. Evaluating the physical and mental condition of the participants. All right, and then that last one was providing emergency care. There are some legal concerns that we need to be cognizant of. So if you kind of fail to pay attention to them, is when you are more likely to be liable for if something goes wrong. So the first issue of legal concern when it comes to supervision is that notion of mismatching of participants. Again, if you do it wrong, then you are more likely to be liable. You're more likely to be found to be responsible for whatever the incident was, right? If you mismatch those participants. The second one is appropriate instruction, and then the third one is warning of inherent risks and dangers. Let's look at the first one. We already kind of saw this one earlier in this conversation, right? Is when it's pretty much telling us that coaches, teachers, and store managers need to be able to evaluate individuals' size and skill level. So size is pretty much easier to do because you just need visual inspection of the participants, so you know who's stronger, bigger, taller, that type of idea, people kind of isn't. And then the skill levels, different activities have different ways of going about figuring out the skill levels of the participants. You may have a 5-minute warm up, one-on-one little instruction, and then you figure out where they are in terms of skills, right? And based on those evaluations, you are going to match your participants, right? You also evaluate physical and emotional abilities in present situations. It depends what you're doing. Are you doing a little competition? It's just a casual practice. Are you preparing for the, local tournament? So depending on that situation, you're also going to match your participants, right? And then what you have to do is that you are going to match competition based on those factors, right? Again, it is a legal concern. It's an issue of legal concern because if you do the matching, if you mismatch your participants and one of them gets hurt, you are more likely to be found liable for that, right? Because they're gonna say a reasonable person would have foreseen that making this 130-pound participant wrestle this 70-pound participant wasn't a good idea, right? So they will be found liable. Yes.
How do you evaluate the
The
emotional abilities?
emotional abilities. Sometimes there are games or matches or sports situations where are more about having a strong mind. And so you kind of know by being around the players, by the experience within that type of idea, right? I don't know, some of you know that I play tennis, and that's one of the sports that I find to be very emotional. You have to have like that emotional drive and emotional strength. And so again, probably you start knowing who your players are based on that factor, I suppose. Does that make any sense? More like that drive and that part. Some people are more about the activity itself and not so much about that mental part of it, right? So you probably just want to kind of match people that are more competitive against each other, and then the ones that are more casual and less interested in that side of the competition, kind of put them on a different division or different group, right? Sometimes that helps. Because again, if it is a contact sport and then you have somebody who's really emotionally and aggressively charged and ready to compete, and then somebody who's I'm just here to have fun, that probably wouldn't be a good match. Does that make any sense? All right. The second issue that can have legal ramifications if we are not ready for it is appropriate instruction. And this one entails explanation of the basic rules and procedures, and suggestions for proper performance, including feedback. So they're pretty self-explanatory, right? So explanation of the basic rules and procedures, making sure that everybody knows, what the ground rules of that activity or that sport or that game are, right? You cannot touch the person while he doesn't have the ball. You're not supposed to aim at their head. No blows, above the neck, something like that, right? So everything that is expected. Suggestion for proper performance, same thing, it's usually about safety. Make sure that you only tackle the person when they actually are holding the ball, that type of idea, right? And then you also want to identify safety rules and regulations. Make sure that you identify safety rules and regulations. That will be the third point. Identify safety rules and regulations. So, in summary, we could actually also think of appropriate instruction as making sure that you are communicating everything and anything that can result in the environment to be as safe as possible, right? That you don't withhold anything, right? All right. when it comes to instruction, we have 6 different areas of instruction that we have to be concerned with. The first ones are the warnings, then we have coercion, we have dangerous activities and conditions, we have violations of game rules, we have safety equipment, and then we have facilities. And we're about to see, take a look at each one of them. All right, so the first one is warnings. What does that one mean? It has to do with instruction. We already established that it has to do mainly with communicating and everything that has to do with the activity. Yes, Mariah?
So it's pretty much the same, like if you're playing football, you could get a concussion, you could break a finger.
Mm-hmm. All right. That's it. So it's pretty much more participant of inherent dangers of the sport. What Mariah was saying, making sure that people know what could potentially happen as part of the sport, as normal part of the sport, inherent dangers, right? And those warnings can be related to things like equipment, what could happen to your equipment, dress, what would be the appropriate attire to participate in this activity, skill level. There are certain things that you have to be on the lookout for depending on your skill level. If you're a beginner, what you look for. If you are an intermediate, what is it that may be dangerous for you? And then if you're an advanced participant, what should you be looking out for? Physical conditioning, what type of physical skills are you supposed to be in, or physical fitness are you supposed to be in to be able to be successful in this. Here's where the notion of when the more dangerous the sport is, the more clear and repetitive the warning is required. So when the more dangerous the sport, the more clear and repetitive the warning required. And that makes perfect sense, right? I was saying tennis is usually, I kind of mentioned tennis. You can get hit by a tennis ball. It can be dangerous if it is in your eyes, but other than that, it's probably not as bad as other sports, right? Some other sports are really more, the danger in them is actually higher than tennis. So probably the warnings for tennis wouldn't be as repetitive, and you just say, hey, be careful not to hit to the person when they're at the net to their face, right? That's probably sufficient. I don't know, when you do skiing like I see on the picture there, you probably have to make sure that you are more deliberate with your warning, right? The person can fall, break their neck, become paralyzed, that type of thing, right? More stake up. Does that make any sense? Coercion, application of pressure to participants or to go beyond physical means. Sometimes as, organizers or coaches or people in charge, it's difficult to make that distinction between somebody's reluctance to participate and their ability to actually do something related to the activity. So you have to make sure that you find that balance. I'm going to say that one more time. Sometimes as an instructor, a coach, or a person in charge, it's difficult to make the difference or the distinction between a participant's reluctance to participate and their ability to actually perform the task. I don't know how many of you are familiar with this video of I think it was a couple of years ago, when this cheerleader, she was being forced into this split position, and on the video you can see her actually physically being in distress, kind of almost crying, because she probably was as stretched as she could go, and then she had these teammates, I suppose, and everybody else trying to push her beyond, but it seems like she was able to do so. Supervision, somebody in the right mind, the coach should have been there and kind of, hey, let's take a minute. She shouldn't be forced to be.
That was the coaching process.
Yeah, exactly. So there you go. So liability, right? With that video, I don't know if she actually sued, but if they probably would have won. They probably would have had a case there. Right. So anyway, it's you gotta be careful with that part of the reason. Sometimes you are so focused on the podium, on the medal, that you forget these things, and it can be a little bit detrimental for you in your organization. Dangerous activities and conditions. Specific supervision is required for highly dangerous activity. Remember, we're talking about specific supervision, and earlier in the conversation, we talked about 3 different types of supervision, right? And so here we are calling for the specific type, right? Can somebody remind me of the other 2 types? General. Then we had the second one is specific, and then the third one is transitional, right? Which is a combination of both general and specific supervision. Just kind of a little mind quiz to see where you are, keeping you honest. And so when these activities are actually more dangerous, then constant awareness of space and risk associated with it need to be kept into account, right? Here we have this kind of archery competition going on. But it's kind of like this. I always think about golf. I don't know. I have like this fear of being whacked in the head by somebody swinging a golf club. You know? So I always try to, when you see me on a golf club, I'm the guy that is kind of insanely far away from everybody who is swinging. I don't want to be around anybody swinging a golf club. Yes.
So I worked at the Denver Country Club this summer. My fear is the balls.
Yes.
I'm trying not to get hit by the balls.
Yeah. Well, that is also another one. Yeah. Did you have to go out there, like, were you on the driving range or something? Or?
I was not at the driving range, but like the one time I was like watering like this dry spot on like the green, I didn't see the guys down there hitting. I was just seeing this ball coming straight towards me. Just had to scoot out of the way pretty quick there.
Oh, were you able to get out of the way? You didn't get whacked?
I didn't get hit, but it's
Definitely a concern.
Yeah.
Definitely a fear. Yeah. No, yeah. Yeah, me too. And I would be too, definitely. But yeah, that golf course thing is just like, oh, it makes me wake up. Anyway, violation of game rules will be the fourth consideration for supervision. So responsible for enforcing appropriate rules of the game. If you are the person in charge, the manager, you have to make sure that your staff is doing this, is enforcing those rules. When it comes to supervision, it's tied together in that participants know that it's not kind of the Wild West, and so their behavior is going to be better, right? If they know that there are going to be consequences on their behavior, then they're more likely to behave, as expected, and then again, your supervision job will be a lot easier. Again, that goes in hand with that. Must eliminate inappropriate behavior. Right? And then you also want to make sure to correct behaviors that overstep the rules. All of this just makes really good sense in terms when we want to conserve a safe environment, right? If you make sure that the participants are abiding by the rules, again, everybody's going to have an easier time, right? And sometimes the game itself might be dangerous enough that you might just be wanting to watch and supervise for what happened within the rules of the game, right? Let alone having to figure out that you have all these people that are just rallying and doing whatever they want. That will just add stress and potential for something to go wrong to your activity, right? Or to your facility. Safety equipment, I will put it in those lines to kind of make sense of it. Activity leaders, your coaches, your teachers, trainers, anybody who's in charge of that activity must provide equipment that is safe for the activity that is taking place. They are responsible for checking equipment. And they must fit equipment for individuals when necessary. They must fit equipment for individuals when necessary, and that pretty much explains the picture, right? If you are playing with, if you are handling or supervising younger participants, sometimes they might need help like the picture is depicting, tying up their straps on their helmets, or I think that this lady here is screwing something on there. Is that what it's doing? Yeah. So she's just kind of making sure that the kilo is safe there. Alright? Again, all of this is going to translate in your job of your staff a lot easier. Right? We are not leaving it to chance. Then we have the notion of facilities. This is the actual building or venue where the event is taking place. And as the management or manager of the facility, you are responsible for checking facility and activity spaces for dangers. We've already came off of discussing the topic of premises liability. And remember that we talked about how there are certain liabilities for those dangers that should have been found under upon casual inspection, right? So you have to make sure that you walk around kind of trying to find those obvious dangers so that you can address it, right? Remember, you're going to have invitees, and the duty of care warden is doing that, making sure that those facilities are safe. Talk how to fix and remove dangers to your staff. Probably part of your training, part of your emergency action plan is kind of okay, when you see this is how you address it. Kind of part of that. Understand proper use of the facility. I know that sometimes we don't want to multi-use and multi-purpose the facility as much as possible, but there are certain limits to that as well, right? So you cannot just put absolutely everything and anything that comes to your mind in terms of events or programs if the facility is not conditioned for that, right? Sometimes you can kind of, cross activities and use the same, building or arena, and that's probably the ideal, but you also have to know your limits. How much you can do with that building, with that arena, with the facility. Sometimes pushing it can result in liability, and you don't want to do that, right? So again, understand the proper use of the facility, or when the activity must be moved or discontinued, right? Just because you just don't have the space or the adequate facility for it, right? Does that make any sense? All right. So, questions or comments about emergency care and supervision? All right. So we are going to. I'll give you 30 seconds to think about it and let me know, because I do want you to make sure that you understand what we just spoke about before we move on to the next conversation. All right. So before we actually do move to the next conversation, how is that risk management plan coming along? Have you guys figured out who you're going to work with? Have you figured out what topic you're going to be doing? I mean, that's, I think that I said that I should know by, I think it's the first week in October or something like that, or second week in October. Like what your activity is going to be, what your organization that you're going to be doing a risk management plan for is, all of that. So hopefully you guys are working out the details on it. I do have the sign up for the groups. And what did I say? 3 to 4? 3 to 4, max 4, I suppose. I think that should be enough, right? So we're gonna do the sign up today. So just kind of keep that in mind as we have the next conversation, and then towards the end, I'll give you the sign up sheet for that. You don't know what I'm talking about, right? Do you?
Yeah.
Okay, you saw it online?
I know what we're talking about.
Okay, it's on Blackboard as well, so I just want to make sure that, just that I handed in the other day, so just making sure. All right, so